What about Mexico, who are also, of course, grouped in the Copa America, FMF? Set to replace Jimmy Lozano after rumors that the federation wanted Lozano to take the assistant coaching job while allowing Javier Aguirre to take over for the 2026 World Cup. Lozano reportedly rejected FMF's offer to stay on with an eye until the 2030 World Cup. So with him on the way out, it now clears the way for El Vasco Aguirre, who of course took Mexico to the 2002 and 2010 World Cups. Herc, you've been critical of kind of the form, the manners in which this has been conducted. Just another sign of dysfunction from the Mexican Federation?
Absolutely. I mean, let me just applaud Jimmy Lozano for stepping aside. Embarrassing for everybody involved, and certainly for Jimmy Lozano, that this federation thought it would be plausible for him, who they told him, it doesn't matter what happens this Copa America, win or lose, you're our guy. They told us, ratified, he is our guy for the 2026 World Cup. Generational shift. Jimmy, do what you want to do, just without these players. Leave these guys at home. The federation told him that. Manipulated him that way.
Not just any guys, three big guys as well.
Three big
Henry
guys.
Martin, Memo Ochoa, Chucky Lozano, just to name a few.
Generational change? Who are you fooling? Jimmy Lozano steps aside, does the right thing. For his own honor, for his own self-esteem, like how embarrassing this is for everybody involved. And I'll tell you what, it's El Vasco's Javier Aguirre coming back for his third World Cup. To do what? I do not know. I do not know. And I say this respectfully. Javier Aguirre is the best Mexican coach of all time? Yes, for the national team. Yes, he is, because he's the only one that's gone out. He's the only one that's coached multiple World Cups. Is he the best possible manager out there? No, he's not. He's not even close. Javier Aguirre was managing Mallorca, and I say this with respect. Their goal was to stay in First Division in Spain. Made it to a cup final, Copa del Rey. And that's what they're going for. That's what they're aiming for. It's not even casting a wide net like their counterparts, aiming for the stars. No, it's going back. And the worst part here is El Alto Comisionado, the High Commissioner of Mexican Soccer Federation. What he's doing here is nepotism. He's going and getting his best friend to come and right the ship. It's a sideshow for the world to see. And they should be counting their lucky stars that the fiasco of Copa America is going on right now, is taking the attention away of just how laughable it is. It really is sad stuff. We have seen some dark times in Mexican football. This may be the lowest.
Can you put yourself, Shaka, in Lozano's shoes, being asked to stick around for the 2030 World Cup, potentially, and kind of getting demoted from a head coach to an assistant? I mean, it's no wonder he said, thanks, but no thanks.
No, you have to say no. Listen, I understand the honor and the prestige that comes with being involved with your national team, but you're given a taste of the head job. It's really difficult to all of a sudden now become second choice and know that you're answering to someone. So for me, it's an easy decision. Who described it as honorable. I don't see you do anything else. If you have any intention of again being a head coach, not necessarily for a national team, but again being a head coach at some point.
Does Aguirre make Mexico better? I understand all the points that you bring up about his limited resume, et cetera, but it was pretty clear that there wasn't progress being made under Jimmy Lozano. I think that was evident most recently here in the Copa America. There just doesn't seem to be a path forward. I think Javier Aguirre makes them better, even if it's just a little bit better. As a fan, that's what I want.
Let me ask this as looking at it from the outside. That's a pretty low bar, Seb.
Right.
If you're asking if Aguirre makes Mexico better,
should you keep going along the pathway that's going to make them worse?
Given what you all have been saying about this version of Mexico, I'm not sure that they've ever been worse.
Right.
So why not bring in a qualified manager?
All I'm saying is...
How does having a qualified manager hurt?
All I'm saying is, me looking in from the outside, I am asking, or I am saying that Aguirre making Mexico better is a pretty low bar.
Okay, but they need to get better, right? Otherwise, what just happened in this tournament is going to happen again in the World Cup, and it's going to be another fracaso disaster.
Can I very quickly, I'm nobody to defend Jimmy Lozano or the Mexican national team, but bear with me for a second.
Sure. This isn't so much about Jimmy Lozano at this point. This is about making the team better.
Bear with me.
Good enough. Let's go with making the team at least where the minimum expectation for Mexico fans.
Fair. Just bear with me for a second.
Okay.
Jimmy Lozano was without three of the most important players that Mexico has today. If you had a game today, they would probably be the three of the most important players you have, certainly by name.
In the pool, sure.
In the pool. Okay, he's without them. Beats Jamaica, albeit what you thought of that game. Okay, beats Jamaica. Plays against Venezuela, have a chance to tie that game in the dying minutes with a penalty kick that they miss. In a game that I thought they had plenty of possession and were dangerous, where Santiago Jimenez scuffs a 1v1, that game's behind you. In a must-win game against Ecuador, they had 3 possible penalty kicks, right? In a game they dominated, but they couldn't win. And I'm only bringing
You're
this to your
talking about
consideration.
moments.
Yes.
I can point to the
But you're saying-
270 minutes they played in the
hold on,
Copa
but you're
America and they
saying
scored
they-
one stinking goal.
Yeah, but they were the better team throughout.
Of course, football is circumstantial.
I'm only using
270 minutes, they
your
didn't
words.
get out of a group.
I'm only using your words. You wanted to see
in
improvement
effectively a home tournament.
without their 3 most important players. So while I understand your frustrations, because you speak for a lot of fans, you really do. That is what a lot of fans feel today. The problems go far beyond who the coach is. And if you're thinking that Javier Aguirre, who, by the way, is responsible for the biggest fracaso in the history of the Mexican national team, okay? In 2002, losing a 2-0 versus the U.S. men's national team, okay? And what he did in that game, or what he lacked and did not do in that game, and what he didn't do in 2010, and who he put on the field in 2010, they're still talked about as some of the worst moments in World Cup history for that Mexican national team. So I don't understand how bringing this figure from the past is supposed to make this team better in the future.
Shaka, which job more attractive, U.S. or Mexico?
The U.S. job comes with a whole lot less pressure, a whole lot less intrusion. I think the U.S. job.
You agree?
All other things being even.
If we're looking at it from that angle, yes. And I wouldn't look at it from that angle, but Shaq's right. I mean, in my lifetime, I've known of 2 U.S. soccer presidents, Sunil Gulati and Cindy Parlocone. I've lost count of how many
This year. right.
On the Mexican side. So from that standpoint, like, Shaq is right. But you're the but if you're the Mexican national team manager, you're one of the most known people in that country and in the United States.
Is that a good thing?
Well,
Is that a good thing when you talk about pressure?
If you can be good at your job, that's a great thing. So attractive, like what makes a job attractive, there could be many different ways. But if we're going off what you have to work with and who will leave you alone, I think it's the U.S. men's national team.